Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I am Jonathan Freedman alongside John Dustin, president of JED Insurance. John, always a pleasure.
Jonathan, happy to be back. Should be a great segment.
Great to have you. You want to introduce our next guest?
Sure. We have Bruce Schwartzman from Black Horse Insurance. Bruce, why don't you say hello to the guests and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Bruce Schwartzman, owner of Black Horse Insurance, and live in Winchester, Mass. We have offices in Winchester in New Hampshire, and I've been in the insurance business for about 25 years, pretty much all I've known.
Really?
Excellent. So tell us, where'd the Black Horse come from? It's such a distinct logo.
Yeah, I grew up on Black Horse Terrace, which is a historic street in Winchester, because there's a tavern called the Black Horse Tavern. It burned down, but Paul Revere stayed there. Supposedly George Washington stayed there. There's now actually a new tavern that came after my business. A lot of people think I named my business after a bar in town. It's actually named after the tavern where my house was actually where the barn was. So it's kind of historic. The Winchester Historical Society actually uses that logo as well, or similar logo. So
excellent. So do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about your business and what it is that you do? You said you're in the insurance business, but that's almost as broad as saying a consultant these days.
Big landscape.
We focus, Black Horse Insurance, we focus on group benefits for companies. Really, we target 100 and below, with a majority of our clients being 50 and below. And we do medical, dental, disability, life, HSAs, FSAs. And our real focus is on the smaller groups that we find a lot of brokers are getting bought up by larger firms. And they're putting caps where they don't even want a company at, less than 10 lives or less than 25 lives. Some carriers won't take, companies won't take less than 50. We really like those clients because we try and act as their outsourced HR department.
Bruce, so you really picked a simple business model, I see, getting into group benefits these days.
Yeah.
and at the small end of the market.
Right, yeah.
Bruce, that's an interesting segment of the market to focus on because I think it's often neglected. And I think, as Jonathan was just pointing out, it's like a maze to get to where you need to be. And employers that are trying to retain their employees, you have sort of a value-added proposition because most small accounts are just handled quickly. They don't even know what they have. The employees don't know. The employers have exposure because they don't know what they're offering. Explain what you offer to the clients that's a little different than the average broker.
Sure. Well, the big thing we find is having a good benefits package is what most brokers focus on, just getting the plan set up, getting a medical plan, getting a dental. Every broker is going to do that and shop it every year. And then they sort of disappear until the next renewal. We actually become your HR outsourced department in that we offer a website that we build for the client that each employee has a login to, the HR director has a login to, but we handle all the admin. And a quick example, like a 7-person surgery group we have, they hire a new employee. Their HR director has to go and log into Blue Cross and add that employee, log into Altus Dental and add that employee, LTD carrier, STD carrier, FSA, HSA, make sure they understand the state new paid family medical leave act. And what we do is we send the HR director a 1-page sheet that they fill out with a few pieces of information. Then we email the employee and say, here's your benefit site. Here are all your benefits. Do you want to set up a Zoom meeting with us? Can't do face-to-face obviously anymore. And we'll then walk the employee right through the benefits package. And then we will make sure that they're enrolled in all those lines of coverage. So we're logging into the 5 websites. Some of it's done now automatically through our portal, but it just saves the employer. And we find these employers maybe going to those websites twice, maybe 4 times a year. So they're usually calling us, asking us how to do it, or on the phone on hold with Blue Cross for a half hour trying to figure out how to do it, is where we'll go in and just get the employees all enrolled. We'll send the employee then a confirmation sheet, and then we'll even send a summary of benefits, and then also a sheet that shows how much of the benefits make up of someone's compensation, like what we call a total compensation package.
So at that level, that's got to give the employer a distinct advantage relative to failing, that they're a big company acting, they're providing what a big company, some security to the employee, I would think.
Sure, it makes it, we have a two-person biotech startup that their employees get the feel that they're working for a 100-person biotech. And I always joke, my wife works for Mass General, and their website that we offer to our clients, we didn't build it. We buy it. It's really better than a lot of the websites that I've seen out there. It's better than the Mass General site. I use the Mass General site every year to log in and enroll in benefits. And I think our site's actually better than, the site they offer their employees. It's easier to navigate because we have to make it really simple so that the employees can understand it. But I do think it helps the employer really educate their employees on their benefits and gives them a nice, I guess it makes the people appreciate their benefits more.
Well, that must be a piece I was just going to point out. It probably also sort of levels the playing field, if you will. I think that not only do many small businesses don't have any idea of the ins and outs of benefits, but I think one of the gaps that exists in a lot of organizations is the employees' understanding of benefits and what that total cost might be to the employees. So it sounds like you're really creating transparency in that employer-employee relationship when it comes to benefits as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bruce, are you offering just employer sponsored, or do you do voluntary as well?
We are doing a lot of voluntary now because of the site. Voluntary was always tough because to get in and meet with the employees and explain the benefits, but with the use of Zoom and also having a site where the employees can actually it walks them. A lot of the voluntary benefits come with a video. A lot of information's on the site, so we're doing voluntary benefits more so accident, critical illness, voluntary life insurance. Doing a lot more voluntary now.
And Jonathan, do you think the benefits are going to get more complicated with a change in administration?
I would imagine that's definitely going to be coming. How this country is ever going to move beyond the complexity that we've built here is a mystery for everybody, I think. But what have you seen over the course of the last 9 months to a year? And what do you anticipate? I imagine the landscape is only going to get more difficult. I'm seeing early talk of high double-digit growth in premiums, et cetera. I imagine somebody's, everybody says, oh, the government's paying for all this. Well, at some point, it's going to have to shake out at the bottom. Somebody's going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, well, a lot's going on right now with Massachusetts alone put in that Paid Family Medical Leave Act, and there's a lot of questions on that. And we're actually, one thing with the site we offer to employers, we don't just put our benefits. If they have a 401k, we'll say put us in touch with a 401k provider. We don't do that insurance, but we'll add it to the site. The Paid Family Medical Leave, groups under 25 in Mass are using going right to the state. But we'll still put that on the benefits website with the links. But things like HERD, filing, companies have to file HERD, any group over 6 employees. Because of the site we have now, we run a query and see all the companies that we have that are over 6 employees because it's full-time and part-time. And then we actually now help them do their HERD filing. It's a lot like you're talking about, trying to keep our groups compliant. I see things getting very complex. Trump's administration put in one new thing that affected medical, an ICRA HRA, which a lot of people, we're starting to see more of that take off. But we actually contract with a compliance specialist. So we outsource. I'll explain it to my groups, but I have a compliance person that keeps me informed, who's really renowned in the state. She's really good with federal and state. And so I think that's a huge part of being a broker now, is keeping your groups compliant so they don't get fined. The fines are unbelievable. My compliance person's appealed $30 million in fines for her clients.
Wow.
In the last 3 years.
And I would imagine for small businesses in New England, where very often you're crossing state lines, it gets even more complicated.
Definitely, yes.
No, you can't keep anything simple when you're going. You could be a mile down the road in another state and have a whole other set of rules that apply.
Exactly, it's very, very confusing for us too to try and keep up with it. It's I know it's just it's a growing confusion. Like you said, new administration, there'll be a lot of new things coming down the pike, I think.
Bruce, if I'm a business owner and I've got a small growing company, you can handle the growth of that, correct? I mean, even though your focus is on the small.
Yeah, so we have some groups. 2 of our largest groups start at 2 employees, and we have groups over 100. But again, we target because we just feel we're more added value. A bigger company has an HR team, but we've actually talked to a company that was 300 employees. And they actually kind of use us more as a consultant, and just to kind of check on what their broker's doing. They'll call us and send us the renewal and things. And so we're the only difference really over 50 and under 50 as far as is there's some different laws in place, and because of our compliance person, we're equipped to help groups over 50 and groups that grow up to 100, 200. I mean, the site we use is really designed to handle companies up to 1,000 lives. And as far as knowledge base, my team, we're all trained in how to handle companies with 50 and above. And as you know, John, 50 is kind of the magic number where a lot of the laws change.
You can negotiate, right?
Yes, exactly. You can negotiate with carriers, and then there's a lot more compliance, a lot more filings and compliance as well with Obamacare.
Our smaller firms just have to take what we get.
Well, that was what I'm curious about, because I think a lot of small businesses think it is what it is. But what I'm hearing you say, Bruce, is that's not necessarily the case. You can certainly shop the market, but there are things that can be done to help a small business be more competitive from a benefits perspective.
There are, things like HRAs, where put a higher deductible plan, but then reimburse the employees that actually need use the coverage more through an HRA. There's a lot of little gimmicks that I'm seeing, more and more brokers kind of catch on to, but there's a lot you can do to maybe it's only saving 5 or 10%. You don't have the same flexibility as a 50 life group where you can actually negotiate rates, but there's offering employees FSAs, ways to use basically tax advantage rules and things. There are definitely things we can still do to a company that's smaller versus them just calling up. Some small groups just go right to a carrier and get a quote, and they just deal with the carrier direct, and they don't realize that by bringing in a broker, they don't pay any extra fee. The carrier charges the same price. So
you get a whole heap of knowledge to go along with that, and as you said, knowing what your options are. And I would imagine the other thing that it brings in terms of benefit is just somebody understanding the landscape. As you talked about, it's complex depending on what your business structure is. There's certain rules that apply even for things like FSAs and HSAs, et cetera. If I got the acronyms right, but everything's different depending on what your company is, what your tax structure is, what your operating structure is. Can we make it any more complicated in this country?
Right. Yeah. We have a lot of groups that are headquartered in, not a lot. We have a few groups that are headquartered in England and Ireland. And they've got divisions here, and their team doesn't know anything about benefits, and they really need help. They're great clients. They just basically will tell them this is what you need to do, and they want to make sure their benefits package. And if anything, we have to talk them down. They want to pay 100% of the benefits because that's what they're used to in Ireland or England, and we have to say no, you'll go bankrupt doing that. It's tough to pay 100% medical and dental and all the benefits. So we'll sort of guide them on a structure and explain to them that their employees will expect to pay some of the premiums and things. So we really like those companies. They're usually startups that European companies starting up over here, and they tend to refer out, word gets around because they really want their people don't really know how to handle benefits at all.
Yeah, it's a complicated world. So our guest on Radio Entrepreneurs, Bruce Schwartzman of Black Horse Insurance. If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you, Bruce?
We have a website, blackhorseinsurance.com. We also have our phone number, 781-729-1164. Then you'll go right to me, and my extension is on there. And then we have my email is bruce@blackhorseinsurance.com. Long email.
Excellent. Excellent. Our guest on Radio Entrepreneurs has been Bruce Schwartzman, principal of Black Horse Insurance, along with John Dustin, my co-host of JED Insurance. It's been a pleasure seeing both of you this morning. And wish you continued success as you navigate, no doubt, the new compliance issues that are going to no doubt come down the pike from the federal government. So sounds like great service that you're offering to your clients, and hope people reach out and want to talk with you about how to make their benefits shine.
Great. Thank you very much.
And we'll be right back with another segment on Radio Entrepreneurs.